Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Court of Swords. It's that Tuesday. It's that time. Except for Max. He's on GMT, so he'll be here in a little bit. It's in due time, whatever that is. I like that now that we streamed to maybe we've already covered this, but we're going to cover it again. I like the fact that we now stream to Max's channel, and so he's late for his own streams.
I was saying in chat before we started, boy, it'd be great if I could just not have to show up for a stream and somebody would just broadcast to my channel for me. That'd be real nice. It's fine. I've always loved this is my favorite cast of Court of Swords. You know, we got JP, we got Dan, we got Zeke, we got a glowing triangle of light.
Yeah.
It's great.
He has changed up his background though since I think the last time we've done a show. He's got like I think that's his TwitchCon signing sign.
Yeah.
Like his Q&A sign?
I have to assume the rest of it is either Skyrim or Mass Effect bullshit.
Probably.
I think.
There looks like a backpack there on the right. I think there's a sword in front of his signing thing. I don't know what that is in the bottom left.
Is that a helmet or a mask up above that?
Oh, that might be the Titanfall 2 helmet to the right of the globe. I think that's what that is. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways.
And still we give him a ton of screen time, even though he's not even here. We just spent 5 minutes talking about Max's bullshit, and he's not even around.
Yeah,
must be nice.
That's great.
Must be nice.
We're once again streaming to everyone's channel. This is the second time we've done this on the show. It'll be the norm moving forward. So welcome everyone from Dan's, Zeke's, Max's, and Adam's channel to RollPlay. Also, Zeke, welcome back. This is the first time you've been on air since the burn, and you're dead.
Yes.
You're dying. You somehow can't
I'm dying.
move. Don't go to the burn. It's not good for your back.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
Something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
No, I woke up this morning and like this area here. Like, okay, picture if you're rolling your head around on your neck, right? And this, if you roll it all the way forward, this is 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And then you go to like there's 6 o'clock right there.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, 9 o'clock. And then I hit 6, and I'm okay with 6. But everything from 5 to 3 is bad.
Well, nothing ever.
Bad.
Look, 5 to 3 are the bad hours of the day. Nothing important happens from 5 to 3 ever.
Yeah.
It's always bad time.
So yeah. So anything like if I like get from this area to this area, I'm bad. But everything else is fine.
Yeah.
And it's like it's probably something to do with like I might have slept on it wrong. It might be because of like the 15-hour drive from Reno to back home.
It's probably the drive, yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm guessing, but yeah, it feels like I pinched something is what it feels like, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
it's not fun.
But
not fun.
I'm here. I can do the role playing as long as I don't move around too much.
Well, we don't do a lot of that here. We're against moving around, so.
No, weirdly though, the entire session takes place at the bottom of a very deep valley, and everything happening is going to happen above you and slightly to the right.
No!
Oh no, another wyvern! Here it comes. What do you do?
You're screwed. Yeah.
Ramus, tell me what's going on in that direction. What's up there? If you look up there, tell me what's going on, please.
There's a magic item, but you just need to look at it.
Yeah.
Get it.
That's how you get it. That's how you get it. You just look at it. Well, I won't ask you to tell us all about Burning Man. I'll let you save that for your own cast.
Yeah.
Because I know you haven't had
I will
a chance
say this one
to
thing,
talk
though,
at all.
that pertains to this.
Yeah?
I played some D&D at the Burning Man.
I think you mentioned that or something that you wanted to. How'd that go?
Yeah, we talked about
wanted
it
to
last
do it.
session.
Yeah.
But I looked in the book and I found this camp, and it was called Captain Something's Raiders was the name of his camp.
Okay.
And I went there because one of the events, they had a StarCraft tournament, and I was like, what
the hell?
And I was like, what? And I went there and they were doing like 2v2 Brood War like StarCraft shit with an actual shoutcaster. Like I kid you not,
allowed?
with an actual shoutcaster, 2 big screens like on either side, dust everywhere, but like everybody they were playing. And the really cool thing about this shoutcaster was he was doing like Burning Man like lingo and inserting it into the game calling.
What the
He knew
hell?
his shit. But he was like, oh God, one of those guys is left out there on his own, just like a sparkle pony out in the middle of the desert, not knowing what's going, like that kind of shit. He was just like putting that stuff in. And for those who don't know, a sparkle pony is Burning Man lingo for someone who comes to Burning Man just to like dance and party and not like participate in like all the other stuff, all the other cool stuff that's going on.
Huh.
So it's just like, yeah, like the princesses of the desert or princes of the desert, like just go out there and try and look good and that's all they do. That's a sparkle pony.
I'd be.
But
A
he was like,
pony.
yeah, but he was, but he was like glampers. Sure. I guess that sounds about right. But they were shoutcasting this whole thing, and I was like, oh my God. I talked to the camp lead, like, dude, this is really cool. What do you guys do? He's like, hey, you should come back tomorrow. We're doing tabletop games all day tomorrow. I went, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got we're playing like Settlers of Catan. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I came back the next day. I said they had like a pre-made, like exactly what I want to do. They had like pre-made characters, and I sat down and for about an hour and a half and played some fucking Dungeons and Dragons in the middle of the desert. It was great.
Man, if I went on a vacation and someone was like, hey, you want to play D? I mean, this actually happened, and someone was like, hey, you want to play D&T? I would just fucking run the other way. I'd say, fuck you, and just walk away. But hey, if you enjoyed it, man, you enjoyed it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Hey, man, it was cool to see like there's all kinds of people out there, but like my specific kind of nerds out in the desert, that was fun.
Yeah.
You know?
What was
Like,
your
hang out with
character's
them.
name? Do you remember your character's name in
Yes.
class?
Theron Lighthammer, Dwarven Cleric.
Of course. Okay. Good.
It was great. I had a blast. We fought a giant scorpion,
As you do in the desert. That's
as you do.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was
Cool.
fun. But yeah, it was cool.
When
So
I
that
went to-
particular camp does that all the time.
nice.
Yeah, when I went to Burning Man, there was a camp called, I think, like the Keepers of the Secret Flame, and they were a Lord of the Rings theme camp.
Oh,
and I
boy.
just was like, it was so good. It was amazing. Everybody was dressed up like Gandalf and hobbits and shit, and I was like, you are way out of your biome here, but I'm pretty into it.
Man.
I in my my souvenir thing that I have yet to unpack, I have an invite to Bilbo Baggins' 111th birthday
Yes.
with
So
a ring
good.
inside of it. It was a great.
No, you don't want that
great
ring. Don't touch the ring.
I told him that. I said I don't really want that. I was like, don't worry, it's not the one ring. We give them out to everybody. Like, okay, good.
It's imitation. Good.
Yeah.
He had to merchandise that old Bilbo. Otherwise, the Shire. It was. Anyways, we can go on with these bad jokes. Let's just move on. Well, cool. I'm curious. When are you going to be doing your Burning Man recap? Is that going to be Thursday-ish? Tomorrow
Thursday.
night?
Yeah,
Okay.
Thursday.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be tuning into that. Mr. DansGaming, you've been on another planet. You've been in Azeroth the past week. How's that? You're still fully addicted. You're still back in the classic era of WoW, it seems. I saw you playing today.
Yeah, I have it bad. It's all back.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was really hooked in vanilla and like played it instead of going to class in college. So I flunked out of all the classes, just playing all day every day, and I'm all back in that, doing like 13-hour days again.
Oof.
It's bad.
Yeah. I put in
But I'm having so much fun.
I put in 4 days of played time and 7 days of real time, and I was like, you know what? I got to do some other stuff.
I have a life now.
There's a dog that needs to be fed. Aaron's back. I probably should pay attention to her once in a while.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So, but I don't blame you. It's kind of crazy. Now, I'm sure. How many times do you have to talk about nostalgia and if the game's good in your stream, or have you banned those words already?
At least a couple times every like 10 minutes, like someone comes in. Why are people playing this?
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen when nostalgia wears off. You know, it's like that.
Yeah, that was the number one conversation that I saw and had to endure nonstop. But apart from that, it's been pretty good. It's kind of crazy how successful. I don't even think the people that thought it was going to be successful thought it would be this successful.
Number one on Twitch for a solid week. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that? There's a Mad Men quote about nostalgia. Oh, it's in the carousel episode, and he says nostalgia means the pain from an old wound.
Sure.
And every time I think about something nostalgic, I'm like, yep, it's just like, you hurt me once. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
I feel like Warcraft is doing that for a lot of people where they're just like, but wait, isn't this game bad now? And they're like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the good pain. I want this.
It's a weird thing because the game is bad. I mean, it's a 15-year-old like game, right? So all the designs and stuff have been iterated on to be good in a sense, but you just want that classic, man. You just want the pain, as you were just saying, I guess.
Yeah. I'm pushing through the pain because I know what comes next, which is the best part, which is Burning Crusade.
Oh.
So I'm like, I want to, in case they're going to do that thing where you're going to have to like carry your character over. I want to get my 60 ready for that just in case.
Sure. Yeah.
And I want to do some raiding.
Yeah, raiding's
for old
always good.
time's sake.
I was surprised at how fast MC died and how fast people hit 60. That was surprising to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That raid was designed for people that never raided before back in 2004. And these people nowadays are like, that was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird stuff. Did you play Control, Dan?
A little bit.
Did you play Control, Adam, before you departed for PAX?
I'm about to start. I'm gonna play it. It's what, like 12 hours long? I'm gonna play it this week.
It depends if you mainline the side. I'd say 60% of the side quests are actually worth it because they just expand on the world.
Oh, that's cool.
That game's really good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, so I'm pretty excited to give it a try.
Yeah, it builds atmosphere. I think you'll like it. Actually, Adam, you might hate it.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
it rides on campiness a little bit, but
dude,
it's like
I don't
the good
need to.
type of-
I don't need to.
Did you like Alan Wake?
I don't need to like a game. I didn't need to like a game to have fun streaming it. Like maybe one of the most fun games I ever played on stream was fucking Detroit. So it doesn't matter if I like it or not. Like as long as it's interesting, I'm good.
Did you like Alan Wake, Adam?
Yeah. I mean, it's corny. It's corny as hell, but
this
is.
It just depends how it hits you. It's
yeah, I'm curious.
I guess this might be a spoiler. It takes place in the same world as Alan Wake. I'll just say that much.
Oh, neat. That's cool.
In a weird way.
And the combat's actually good this time.
It is, yes. It's basically a Star Wars game without any of the Jedi and Star Wars bullshit. Like you have force powers. It's cool. You have a gun that can change shapes. But I don't want to say anything else about the actual game because it's all very easy to spoil. And I think would take away from the ride.
If you have an Alan Wake recap video that I can go back and watch that's any good, tweet it at me so that I can get caught up because I don't remember anything about the plot or the world of Alan Wake. But it would be good knowing that going in.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to do that, sure. If it's 10 minutes of your time, sure. If it's any more than that, don't bother. Yeah. But it's a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. So, Adam, how was PAX? How was that 4-day PAX? That lifelong 30-year PAX convention that you went to?
So it's hard because like on its own, a 4-day con. So a 4-day con is really a 6-day con because you got to get there, then you got to do the con, then you got to get home, and it's fine once in a while. If you just do it once a year, maybe twice a year at distant ends of the year, you're fine. But the problem is that Gen Con, which feels like it's like 9 days long, is now, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks apart from PAX? So it just feels like August is just a ruin. It's just like a burning wreckage of attempting to get anything done.
Sure.
Which it reduces the amount of enthusiasm one has for these events, as you can hear in the tone of my voice. But PAX West is nice because it's a driving distance con for me. I can go, I can commit only as much as I really want to. I only had a couple of panels that I did, and I actually got to play some games, which is like super rare. That was nice. I got to play the Final Fantasy VII demo.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah. So it was one of those things where, of course, because it's Final Fantasy VII, there's like a massive lineup to the point where they've started doing this thing where you line up, and like Disneyland, you get tickets, and then you come back at your ticketed time.
That's perfect.
In a smaller lineup, right? So you go up there, and they just have a limited number of tickets every day. So they're like, okay, you're lining up today on Friday for Saturday tickets, and then they give you your ticket and you come back. I got to skip all that. God bless you, Eric at Square. But it was fun. I'm not a big Final Fantasy VII like guy. Like by the time it came out, I already really liked Final Fantasy, and I was like, okay, this is like a new Final Fantasy game, and it was cool.
Right.
But I really like the switching between characters thing. I used it a lot more than I thought I would, because a lot of the time in those games you play one character and then you switch, give somebody a command, switch back, and then just play that one character for the whole thing. But in the demo, which was three regular fights and then the Scorpion boss from the beginning of the game, I was switching back and forth between Cloud and Barret pretty constantly, which was really cool. It feels like they learned a lot from Final Fantasy 15, where they were like, let's take all the stuff that was boring and nobody liked about combat and that and throw it away, and then whatever's left, we'll build that up around this new ATB thing. But yeah, it was super fun.
Sweet.
I got to play the demo of Blasphemous, which is I think out on Steam now. I think they released the demo, so that was pretty cool. That's that 2D pixel kind of Dark Souls like gory thing that they did.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun. I have to play that. I'm looking forward to that. And it took me all of 3 seconds in the presence of a Switch Lite to just be like, well, fuck it, I'm pre-ordering one of these.
Well, they're announcing a new one tomorrow, probably. So don't buy it too soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need a fancy color one. Like Europe, I think Europe is getting the Pokemon, the blue and pink ones. But I'm fine. Just the gray one is good enough.
Well, they might be
But the
announcing a
hardware's
more
really
powerful
nice.
Switch tomorrow. Is the rumor?
Yeah, I figure that's the way they're going, right? Is they're dividing into like the Switch Lite and then this like more sort of permanent traditional console version, which that's cool too.
Yeah. We'll have to see.
It's certainly the time for it.
Was PAX as busy as it always is? Is it still growing?
Yeah. Monday has become the best day because everybody fucks off on Sunday, so you have lots of room to just like that was the day I did anything. I just played games and like hung out. But the rest of it, yeah, it's PAX East size jammed into a much smaller space.
Yeah.
And spread out across a bunch of places. But they moved all the tabletop stuff out of the main hall and into one of the nearby hotels. So the Regency was just the tabletop hotel. So it was way better that way. There was always like tables to play at. The board game library was like 3 times bigger than it usually is. I think I played 4 games of Root over the course of the weekend, which is like very swiftly becoming my new favorite board game.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was good. It was a nice balance of like hanging out with people I only get to see at cons and then actually playing games, which is kind of rare for that.
It's a rarity at a con for sure. Yeah.
Totally.
Mr. GassyMexican, how are you doing? You got a haircut.
That's me. Hi, how are you?
Hey, you got a little haircut there.
No.
No? Not at all? Okay, not at all. No.
The lack of a haircut is what it is. It's just, it looks like it's a haircut because I went, because it's getting longer. That's all it is.
How did you do it? What was the noise? Okay, all right. You should get that looked at if your hair's making that noise.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
It's coming up.
What, you've been playing that ape game. What's that ape game
Yeah,
like?
the ape game. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. I like that game, and then I also hate that game.
So it's...
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of those games.
So, has anyone else here played it at all, or no?
Nope.
Okay.
I watched
So-
you and I watched Bike play it.
Yeah. So you can the gameplay itself is fun. Like going around exploring and stuff is fun. I have some gripes with how long it takes to get around different places. It can kind of easily go into tedium if you're not actually like really in what you're playing. You know, you're not interested in that whole like I don't want to say genre, but whatever the story and whatever you're challenged with doing. Right.
Right.
It's so I want to say it's so easy to die in that game, especially early on, which I feel like is a lot of people's frustrations. Is just you haven't evolved the like neural pathways and different stuff to have the features that you need in order to effectively just like fight off predators. So it's tough, and it's meant to be tough. The game doesn't hold your hand too much, which is good because it's that's kind of how they said that out the beginning. It's like it's not going to hold your hand that much. You can still have the full tutorial if you want, but even that is like it's still going to be tough. And so you can like work. Oh, good God!
Ignore me.
Listen,
Wow,
if
cut
you
him
Shut
off.
up, Max.
You want me
You're
to
bored.
start-
I started pushing buttons and the buttons are wrong.
if you want me to
I
stop,
forgot
talking, all
this
you
is
have
a
to do is
scene
ask.
swap, and this loads the image. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's been a while. It's
Wrap
been a
it
All you
while.
gotta do is ask if I'm boring you. You don't need to. You don't need
Like
to
the
do that.
Oscars music to get him off.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, you can be like working really hard, and you've spent a lot of time on an ape and stuff. And thankfully, like I'm pretty sure the features that you unlock for your generation like still span, because you can switch freely between any of the apes in your like tribe back at your like settlement, like wherever oasis you've settled.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of those that you can move your tribe around to, your clan around to, which is neat. So you'll like discover a new area, and there'll be like more plentiful resources, or it just looks cooler, or it's more defensible. But then you can just die because you didn't grab a branch properly, and either the game fucked up or you fucked up. So you're just dead, and it goes
Wait,
to an
really? You
animation
just
of
die?
yeah, your ape will just die
What?
if you fall to your death.
What's
But
a
then you just-
considerable
what-
amount of height there to fall? Like what?
It's hard to judge early on. So I end up dying quite a lot. Like I think 4 different apes died just because I kept misjudging it. Or actually what was happening is there's a mechanic where you press A and hold A, right, to grab the branches. You can of course grab onto like big branches, like, and then there's the smaller branches, the leafy branches, and you can typically grab those, right? And there was a part in the beginning where I don't know if it was me, I'm pretty sure it was the fucking game, but I just kept doing what it told me to do, to grab the branches, and just wouldn't grab the branch. So I just went right through, and I fucking died again. And I was like,
Huh.
are you kidding me? Then you couple that with a tiger that's there has a mechanic where there's a tiger that's constantly hunting you.
Oh.
And he's like stalking you. So you'll be doing something, and it's always at the worst times. All of a sudden you're like, like, and you turn around and the tiger's right there, and you have to like fucking dodge him, or if you have
Is
a
this
sharpened
all in
stick.
real time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Man, that game
Yeah.
seems weird. I might have to watch a little bit about that.
I would say give it a shot and see if you like it, because it is a fun game, and I still want to go back to playing it. The reason why I put it down after I started to get the hang of things, and even like the branch grabbing was doing. I don't know if they patched it or something, but I was
Yeah.
able to grab it more, or if it was because I just evolved more. Maybe that it was more effective that way. I was doing really good, and at the height of my confidence, JP, I found a cave. I was fucking murdering everything. I just murdered a giant centipede. I killed a boar. All these things kept coming to this cave for some fucking reason. So I killed like 7 different things. And that fucking tiger comes.
You can't beat
It
a
wasn't
tiger?
even my fault. I was like, this is easy. Like, this is easy mode. Because it was. All you have to do is like turn towards him. Make sure you're facing him. Hold A. Once you hear the little ching, you let go. And then you stick him with your sharpened spear. And I did that. But I was on like the edge of a rock while the tiger was attacking, when he normally doesn't, because like he's kind of fucked up with his AI. And the tiger just ate the shit out of me, and I died because the game fucked up, because I was right next to a wall. It was like a game breaking thing where I like dropped all my shit. I like had a sharpened rock in my stick, and I wasn't able to, even though I hit the quick time event, I just fucking died. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I'm done with this game for a while.
Is that an early
It is a neat
access,
game.
or is it full release?
No, that is, I think it's 1 year exclusive on Epic Game Store. That's why a lot of people aren't playing it, I think, because they don't know about it.
Yeah. I get it.
I would definitely suggest checking it out. The thing is, like, you then skip forward generations after you get to a spot where you're like, okay, I have like 4 kids, or 6 kids is the maximum, and you want to have them with you, like slung around your back or around your chest, because that's how they like in-game mechanic learn, and that's how you get your like neuronal like experience bonus, because the kids are out there and they're seeing what you're doing, And then when you skip forward a generation, the ape you're playing as becomes an elder or dies, and the ones that are slung around your back and stuff, they become the ones that are going out there hunter gatherers, and you're able to lock in however many children you have. You're able to lock in 1 trait. So you have to slowly build out and lock in your traits as you're skipping forward generations. So I guess the technique is to just, the play is to just constantly be grinding like your generation stuff, because it doesn't take that long if you like focus on it, maybe like an hour or so, to lock in your like base traits of like, okay, I'm good at crafting weapons. I'm good at walking bipedally, or walking through shallow water faster, things like that. So it's a little bit of a grind that way, but it is fun. And it does present that element of like, okay, things can go bad at any time, because you're getting hunted by tigers, giant fucking like snakes, all this sort of prehistoric like really scary shit. I got killed by a bird because I went up in its nest and I
that's
grabbed
your
one
own
of its
fault.
eggs.
You shouldn't have done that.
I didn't realize. I honestly thought it was a fruit, because that's where you find most of the fruits, that like help you stop bleeding. you go up to the top of the canopy or whatever. So I went up there and I thought it was a fruit. And I walked up. This fucking giant bird swoops down, picks me up, and just beats the shit out of me in the bed.
Weird.
It's cool.
That game seems
It's cool.
wild. That seems yeah.
It does seem wild, doesn't it, JP?
Yeah, it does. Seems a little weird. A little weird and wild. Do you remember that show on Nickelodeon, the Wild and Crazy Kids? That show was so good. God, what a show.
I remember.
I don't know why.
That was a great show.
That was a great show. They didn't have you always had to watch repeats because they just didn't have enough Wild and Crazy Kids. They just didn't have enough. They couldn't get them. There's only so little. Before we do
Neat
our
game. Check it out if you're in a dry spell.
What's the name of it again?
It's called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey, and it's on Epic Store.
It's a mouthful.
Of course, too, because it's exclusive right now on Epic Game Store. You will get a lot of those people who are like, fuck, this is bullshit. Want it on Steam, and then just prompts the whole Epic.
It starts the whole conversation. Yeah. I do that. I have an alt account where I just go into channels and do that. They're not even playing games. They're on the Epic Games.
This game's bullshit. Why is it?
I'll just start that conversation for fun.
What are you guys thinking about the Epic Games versus Steam?
Yeah.
thing? I think it's bullshit.
It would have an Epic Game Store account. I don't like it.
But I guess and you'll notice it as you're playing it. I don't know if it's the full. I think it's some of the team that made Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it's like the original creator, or one of the
yeah.
original guys from
and
Assassin's Creed.
that comes through. Yeah. And so that's nice. I think they definitely have some quality of life patches to address a little bit, because I'm not asking to make the game super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it easier for glitched weird stuff to happen, because there's so much to lose in that game. You know what I mean? If something glitches out and you just fucking die.
Right.
Yes, you die. It's an interesting mechanic. When you die, the chimps that are on your back, they have to scurry away to a hiding spot. So if you're getting attacked by a tiger and that's how your chimp died, those motherfuckers are probably going to die too. And then that just sets you back real hardcore, because obviously, that they're the way that they're the future, JP. And if they get eaten by a tiger,
they are the future.
What are you going to do, JP?
They are the future. Yeah, I get it.
I'm done talking about the game. It's fine.
All right. Well, we're done with the pre-show. Before we move on to the recap, though, I do want to mention this. We finally got these done. These will go on sale.
Oh shit!
I think sometime this week, maybe Friday. So this is the Court of Swords cap. This is it's got the what do you call it? What do the high fashion nerds call this, Adam? With the plastic strap in the back. What is that? A baseball?
It's a snapback.
It's a snapback. There you go.
Snapback. Okay.
Snapback. On the
Trucker
inside.
hat has the mesh.
It has mesh on the back, yeah.
On the inside,
For your
Max,
mullet.
what's that say right there? What's that say in the
Oh,
stitching?
get out of here!
It says danger sense.
Get out of here!
Wow.
That'll be on sale. Shout out to Rob for making these, and Yetis for getting the stitching. Zeke,
Freaking cool.
this one's for you because I know you wanted a
Yeah!
beanie. This comes in. I think this has two different stitchings. I think there's a brown stitching as well, like a leather stitching that you can get for the beanie. And then the dad cap is what I've been told this is called. The
That's
old
a nice
dad
one.
cap. Yeah, so this is kind of like the generalized role play. I think this also says role play on the back. And I think these are
Is that denim, dude?
I don't know.
It's a dad cap. Come on.
It's a dad cap. What is that? That looks denimish. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like
We're also gonna be
something that
dabbling
would
into
be on an
flannels.
elderly tourist
Yeah, it's the dad
be
cap.
wearing.
It's like a cotton. I think it's it's like a denim style cotton.
We get a role play flannel, please. I can wear that.
You just want a
Off
flannel thing of role that says role play? What?
Yeah, like the logo, and it's just a simple flannel, so I can wear that with my dad cap.
Maybe we'll get an ugly Christmas
Yeah.
sweater.
We'll start making Pendleton blankets with the roleplay logo on them.
There you go. Yeah.
I want a polo. You know where the alligators would go? I wanted to say
Just
role
go
play.
Yeah,
Roleplay
actually,
symbol.
that's
Pastel
the thing I was going to
colors
say,
only.
Zeke. For the next live show, everyone has uniforms. It's a plastic visor and a polo with the roleplay logo on it, and we get little headsets and
Yeah,
it's the whole thing.
Then you guys can put your own stream sponsors on the actual polos themselves. That'd be great.
Like we're a racing team.
Yeah, it'll be
Perfect.
sponsored D&D.
We all do our own sponsored spots while we're doing our intros.
Yeah.
I'm GassyMexican. I play Berg, sponsored by Crest Toothpaste.
Yeah.
If you guys want to whiten your teeth, fuck! Cut it again, JP.
You're fired. Get out of here. That's
Get it
totally
right,
cool.
Max. We don't have enough tape for
Crest
this.
is gonna have my
expensive.
ass
Team.
and
Oh God. Imagine if we called it teeth paste and not toothpaste. I'm going to start calling it teeth paste from now on. That's what I'm gonna
It
do.
should be called teeth paste.
It should
You
be
don't
called
use it
Like
on
staying at
just
somebody's
one.
house.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any toothpaste?
It's not paste for one tooth. Why is it called toothpaste? This
And
ain't
then, and
toothpaste.
for that matter, let's start calling it a hair's brush.
Yes.
Hands soap.
Hand soap,
Perfect. Good.
but body wash. It's still there's only
boy.
one body. Unless you're washing two bodies, and then it's bodies.
Bodies
wash.
wash.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know.
Advertise it as the lover soap.
There you go.
Bodies wash.
My teeth brush.
My teeth. Yeah, people are gonna think you have like a hairbrush for your teeth or something. That'd be. Anyways, we got to run a recap. Let's see what's been happening, or see what happened 2 weeks ago, rather. Let's hit this button and hope it works.
Assault stops with the two unfortunate apostles whose blood feeds the spiral etched into the ranch ground. A terrible worm bursts forth, called by the sacrifice, and Bugfucker flees for the safety of the underbrush. With axe, hammer, and spells, the party dispatches the messenger worm and confronts Bugfucker, who has protected himself with a sanctuary spell. Ramus somehow manages to bend Bugfucker's religion to serve himself, and suddenly everyone's friends again. Funny how that goes. The hole that remains in the wake of the worm emits a strange, intoxicating energy that overcomes broken promises. And while she's out, the party decides to explore a little, seeing not rubble or cavern walls, but cleanly cut marble stairs leading down into the dark. This is no mere hole, but something else altogether more sinister. Maharib is given an old blood-stained clue from Bugfucker's archive, 3 tarot cards from the other side, a 7 of cups, a 9 of wands, and a 5 of coins. They puzzle over fate and coincidence, looking for meaning in the omen, as broken promises and Amira dig through a strangely huge pile of discarded clothes in another tent. The two of them find gear that will protect them from the vein's intoxicating events, and the group prepares to make the delve into the vein, to discover if it is indeed a way home.
Uh-oh. Is it finally happening?
Better
Are we-
be.
Are we
Goddamn
going
better
home?
be, Adam.
Are we going home, Adam?
I mean, I guess we'll find out.
We better.
I guess we'll find out.
We better. I'm just saying.
So, yeah, let's get started. So you have before you what appears to be this entrance into whatever lies beyond. It was tunneled up by the great and terrible worm, summoned by sacrifice, and by coincidence. It seems like Bugfucker has tried this many times, but by coincidence, it worked with you being here. So below you, there is a network of tunnels or caverns or something, but they begin with this descending staircase, the stone staircase, carved into the earth, descending down into darkness. Now, before you dive into it, Broken Promises and Amira both have some kind of special Vein Hunter gear that will allow you to protect yourselves from the intoxicating effects of the vein itself. Berg, Ramus, you don't seem to need it. Maharib, we'll see. You've come to this place and you're going home changed. So we'll have to see. But I wanted to ask before you descend down the stairs, what preparations need doing? Is there anything left to do here on the ranch? In the Court of the Void.
What did you go to preparation H? Is that why you're laughing? 'Cause that's why I'm laughing. I know that's why you're laughing. You motherfucker.
Yeah.
Preparations A through G have been completed. There's only time for one more preparation before you delve into the hole.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like Dan was
just
giggling.
a passing
Dan was
thought.
giggling
And then I was like, no one else is going to think that. I'm not going to say anything. I look at Dan. He's just like...
Dan was giggling at his own joke from chat where he asked, can the hole fit all 5 of us?
Oh, God.
So it depends on whether you go in one at a time or you try to all jump in there at once.
Good Lord.
So anyway, yeah, so
Anybody
the
got
ranch,
the grease spell?
the ranch above used to be a fully functional ammunition ranch, but has long fallen into disuse. There are miscellaneous records and bits of academic detritus that remain as a result of the many past lives of Bugfucker. So if you want an opportunity to dig through those, etc., This is literally me saying to you, hey, you got one last opportunity in the world map before you go down in this dungeon. So if there's anything you want to do, you fucking do it. Save your game.
Yeah, make sure to save.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
seriously.
hit the
'Cause
save
there's going to
button.
be like there'll be a 45-minute unskippable cutscene, and then you'll have to do the hardest fight in the game. And if you
Jesus.
die, we're doing it all over again. So
All right. Well, I do remember at the end of last episode, we did not take a long rest. We took a short rest, and I was
right.
supposed to remind everyone that. So there you go.
Long rest.
Yeah. I don't think Zeke has very many spell slots, and I think Max.
We ain't going into this dungeon without a long rest. That would be horrible.
Well,
Based on that.
if you remember at the end of the last episode, we
Foreshadow.
decided that we were going to go inside because we weren't sure if it was going to be here when we woke up.
that's right. That is the gamble that it may have changed or become less stable if you give it time.
But now here's Adam saying that it might be dicey down there. You should probably do something. So what is it, Adam? Which is it? Tell me what to do,
Man.
Game Master.
So you're standing on one side of a 6-lane highway. Cars are ripping by in both directions. On the other side of the highway is, I don't know, a Wendy's, and the Wendy's is going to close in 5 minutes. And if you run across the highway, you can get to the Wendy's before it closes. But if you wait until there's
confident in
less
my
traffic,
dodging
the
ability.
Wendy's
Cross
might
the
be
highway.
closed, Max.
Do they
There
still
you go.
is the
You just across
frost
the highway.
is the frosty machine working, or do I not know from here?
Yes.
It is working.
No, you can.
Oh.
Yeah, you checked in advance.
All right, I'm going across. We're not waiting.
You know what I'm saying? So, you can rest, or you can
All right, let me
go to
look at
the
my-
Wendy's.
Yeah.
I
Also,
guess,
we have a
in this
lot of
analogy.
European viewers. Adam, can you make this whole thing European for people?
Across the highway is
Just say the traffic's
Low
going the
Wendy's?
opposite way, and then we're good.
yeah. The traffic
Yeah.
is backwards.
Well,
and
that's
the
only-
Wendy's
that's
is a
only Britain.
low Wendy's.
That's only London.
I don't
Anyways,
know if they have Wendy's. I don't think that's one of the major chains we have that we see a lot over there.
Is it Das Wendy's? I guess is
I
on
see
the
a
other
lot of
Just
side.
say-
I don't.
KFC,
just say there's a Nando's. Just say there's a Nando's. That's
Nando's,
it.
yeah.
There's a Nando's across the
Zeke. I'm
street.
sorry, Zeke.
That's true. You see a Nando's.
God damn it, those Wendy's.
Yeah, you can get Der Burger or whatever.
Please.
Der Burger, mit fries. It's right over there.
What do they call it? Frosty in Germany at Wendy's. At the German Wendy's.
Royale with cheese, I think is what it's called.
There's some Germans watching
Yeah.
this stream right now too that are like, I don't understand what's funny. He's just saying.
You don't
But
understand the
it's funny.
joke. I'll just spoiler. You don't understand the joke because you're German and you weren't born with a sense of humor. I'm sorry. It's just
Wow.
a medical fact.
Wow. Jeez. All
I can say that.
Nope, there goes all of Germany.
What about the
Tuning out.
Nando's?
All right, are we taking? Me and Ramus are good to go. We're at the front of the pack. We're standing on the steps. We're getting ready to take a step. Are we stopping for a long rest?
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm not worried about spell slots and all that stuff. I just took a peek at my HP and stuff. And even though it's still not at its maximum, which I don't even remember what my max HP is anymore.
Oh, don't bring that up again.
I'll
Jesus
start this
Christ.
whole shit. It's like 96
I'm
or
just
something.
saying,
Chat,
some
tell
of
him,
us are not at our full potential.
chat, tell him what
That's
his full HP is. Because he honestly did not write it
Yeah.
down. I guarantee. You can look on his character sheet via the extension. He did not write it
I
down.
really don't know. We can guesstimate. I'm okay with that. We've done it before.
Jesus. Figure it out in the
What was it,
chat.
130?
I don't want to
150?
waste. I
Something
don't
like
want to
that?
waste time. No, it's not. It's like 97 or something like that.
Yeah, it could have been like.
How many spell slots do you have, Zeke?
how's your sorcery points
I'm
doing?
missing. I have one sorcery point left out of a dozen,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I'm missing my top three. Like, I don't have any 5th or 6th level spells. I have one 4th level spell, and then the rest are pretty okay.
Dan, how are you doing spell slot wise?
I have most of mine. Just I don't have a 6th slot or one of my 2nd slots. Other than that, I'm good.
What if we go
don't-
down here and adventure for a little while and then take a long rest? Because that always
That's
works.
fine. That's fine. I'm down with that.
You want to do that?
You're down. You're trying to like push a little bit more before we stop at the rest station, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
On this road
yeah.
trip. Back to the, out of the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah, we're pushing it on E right now, and we're gonna see if we can coast
Well,
that
some of
motherfucker into
us
the next
are.
gas station.
Some of us
Yeah.
never dip
Yeah.
below 100 HP, so we don't really. We're just
That's
always go. You know, that's
Some of us are just more blessed than others. Right? You got to be taller. You got to have a bigger.
Well,
sword.
we're only blessed if Ramus has the spell slots for it. You know, or
You know,
otherwise.
the
we're
one
kinda
thing
screwed.
I had on you was my super awesome magic weapon, the Hammer of Heaven, and then you got this fucking cool void axe.
Not anymore.
You couldn't even let me have that.
Not anymore.
Well, no, Berg, this just means like when the fight comes, you push him out in front of you.
Yeah,
You're like, go get him, Tiger.
yeah,
That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be old man Bird.
And then
just
we
like,
fight mind flayers and he's fucked.
yeah. Anything with a willpower save, I'm dead.
I was about to say, don't worry, everybody. Everything down here makes you make charisma saves, so you'll be fine.
Finally, the dice fall in Zeke's favor.
Got the old 7.
But they won't.
They might.
No,
You
they
never
won't.
know.
I don't think too. Like, I'm trying to remember. No, in the last encounter, I don't think I did any. Did I fall down at all, or no? I don't think so. I don't think I used any like racial or. I'm just trying to get a sense of. I don't think I did.
No, I think we thought you did, and then we recalculated damage or something like that, and you were fine. So
Okay.
yeah, I think you're
Yeah,
good.
I don't remember going down and using my racial, so
Yeah,
I just wanted to. It's important to know, going down to see if I've done that already.
yeah. All right, are we going in then? Are we stepping down?
Yep.
Dan, you're good with
I'm in.
this?
I'm good.
Okay. Max, you're the last
Okay.
one. This is a Democratic
Yeah,
party.
let's do it. I'm not going to be the odd man out.
Okay.
Also, I know I'm not at like my full HP, but also I would. How do you recover that? Like the necro
You gotta sleep.
effect?
The
It's just
exha-
long
the
rest, right?
exhaustion.
So you-
Long rest.
Yeah.
right. I didn't know if
yeah,
it was
for
like
most of that
successive ones that you had to
necrotic
do
stuff.
to like recover a little bit here and then recover a little bit more, or it just comes back. Because I don't think I've really dealt with that too many times.
Yeah, it's a long rest.
Or I'm just my brain's dying and Max can't remember anything.
I mean, that's probably
It's
true.
more likely. It's more
Everyone's
likely
brain is dying by watching this.
I'm just waiting for us to be sitting here debating this. We head down. We hear the Mario like pipe noise, like broop, 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 and we're on the other side. Just like,
Diku, diku.
oh shit, that was easy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. You get to the bottom, and the king of the void kicks a shell at you, and you all die.
You know what he's gonna do? We're gonna get to
So
the void.
since
easily,
we're
and
since
then
we're
it's gonna be bad.
heading into a dangerous subterranean environment, we should talk about a couple of quick things. So, in the event that you are in a corridor too narrow for you to just sort of move about willy nilly, what is the order in which the party is progressing? Who leads the way? What order from front to back?
Well, me and Berg are
hurry.
the ends, I would think. I don't know if
I'd
Max
probably
wants
be
to
the
be.
end.
Okay, you'd be last one in.
Listen, I'm old man Berg.
Okay.
He's already got some shit going on in his head about what happened the last fight.
All right. Well, then I'm first one in. Ramus behind me, Zeke behind him, Max behind him at the end.
Mahari,
Amira, I'll be. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Amira.
yeah, well, you need to stack her in there too.
Amira will be between me and you. So like
Okay.
second spot.
Yeah, Ramus in the center.
Okay,
That
Mahari,
makes sense.
Ramus. Mira,
Does Amira have a ranged weapon?
Broken Promises.
Does she have
does
a
not.
javelin?
No. She has
Yeah,
this
I can't
janky
help
old
but feel
sword
like
nobody likes.
We're going into some darkest dungeon shit right now.
And Berg taking up the rear. Okay, so that's good. Let's do a quick light check. Who has dark vision?
Me.
And who does not? Ramus doesn't.
I think everyone but Ramus.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one.
Yeah,
that
so
doesn't.
Ramus.
After
So
all
you don't
this
have dark
time,
visions.
still no
So
dark
for
vision.
light, what is your preferred method here? Because the light spell lasts an hour. So do you want to just recast it every hour, or
Yeah, I'll cast it on the back end of Maharib's shield so he can hold it to his chest if he wants to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like, he needs it to be off, he'll hold it to his chest.
if it's on the back side of his shield, the light will be pointed at you and not forward.
That's right.
So
Okay, then
it's
I'll-
good to
how
be
about-
able to cover it, but
All right, let's get real meta with this if we're going to try to hide
No,
the
sure.
light. Cast it on my right eye, and I'll just keep my eyes open. And then if someone comes around, just close it. And just I'll have
you
no
blink,
depth
I'm gonna-
perception.
if you had a glass eye, maybe, but it can't be cast on a part of a person.
I just love the idea of like before he started fighting, he winked at me. Why did
Wink
he do
was
that?
just
He's like,
blinding, yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna kill you. Wink. Oh no.
I'm looking at my inventory. I don't really have anything that's
You
like.
got an eye patch or something you can slap on there, and then we can.
You can't cast it on your eyeball unless you want to gouge your own eye out and replace it with a glass one.
Hey.
You could cast it on the front of your shield. You can cast it on a weapon, any piece of jewelry anybody has.
I don't have any. Ramus has got some rings.
Yeah, Raven's got tons of jewelry.
I probably
if you cast
probably
it,
have like
the thing is, Ramus, the two people in front of you are both much taller than you. So if you cast light on yourself, you'll have to walk around the dungeon with your hand like up above your head, so the light will go over them.
I'm sure I have like some sort of maybe like just a chain that you could wrap around your neck. I could cast it on.
Do I? You have a chain for me to wear?
Like I have like these random pieces of jewelry from that I won from all those people earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's
like random junk items.
Yeah,
like rings and stuff. So I could like cast it on something and let you wear it.
that's fine with me. And then I can just like put it underneath my armor. Yeah.
I like the idea of Mahari walking around with a big fat dookie rope, big gold fucking chain.
Yeah, just like it says Thug Life on it or something.
Okay, so cast on a necklace worn by Maharib. Okay.
Void Life. Yeah.
Void Life, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Okay, and then how in case this is an extended amount of time you're down here, what is the food and water situation?
I can conjure us food and water with a spell. If you need
Is it a spell slot or a cantrip?
a spell slot, but I can do it.
It is a spell that
Damn.
needs to, yeah,
Do you have enough for?
If we just scavenge the camp for like containers for water that you could put them in, I could conjure them into the containers, a bunch of water, and then food as well.
Okay, that works.
Right. Cool. I think that's everything that I can think of that I need to know beforehand. But I'm sure if anything else comes up, we'll figure it out. Okay.
It's just sounding
All right.
scarier and scarier as we like take inventory of what's happening.
Adam played a lot of Darkest Dungeon on his trip to PAX. Believe it or
Yeah,
not.
that's
So
right.
That's where he's drawing all this from.
Would-be heroes progress further into the dungeon.
Yeah.
So you gather up your stuff, and I think we probably for the beginning of the episode proper, we fade in on the group of you standing at the mouth of this strange hole. Broken Promises and Amira geared up such that it seems for the time being that this stolen Vein Hunter equipment will protect you. You don't have that same weird hallucination effect that was happening to you before at the beginning of or at the end of the last session. So it seems safe to descend. The place down below, the stairway, seems to be lit, at least partially. There's dim light there on its own by an eerie greenish luminescence. The stairs spiral down and then spiral out of view. So it's not just a straight down. It's there's a slight like twist to the descent itself.
Okay.
The stairs here are they're seemingly carved geometrically perfectly, 90-degree angles. They're all exactly the same width and height, and they seem to be carved out of like veined marble, a blackish marble and thin like green like jade veins maybe.
Okay. Is jade like something that we're accustomed to, or is that unique?
Yeah. Jade is a fairly common like base magical material in the world. It's like fairly easy to come by, and it's used by alchemists, architects. Like it's pretty popular and is considered to be relatively fortuitous, which probably means there isn't any here.
Okay. All right. We keep going.
Okay. You're gonna
Or
start
at least
descending,
I keep
'cause I guess
going.
you're in.
I'm
Yeah,
in front.
you're in the lead, Maharib.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you begin to descend down the stairs, and soon the light from above vanishes and is replaced just by the ambient glow around you. And it seems to be now, once you're down below the earth, you can see that the light is coming from those veins of jade in the floor and in the walls. And as you descend, you notice that there are strange hieroglyphics worn into the walls. And if you stop to look at them, or if you pause to look at them and then look away, when you look back, they've either vanished or changed. There is nothing permanent about these etchings, despite seemingly being carved into the wall with hammers. Do you take time to stop and look at them, or do you?
Nah, we don't need to see the instruction manual. Let's keep going.
Yeah, the tutorial keeps popping up in front of me.
If I could get anything from them with an intro, then I will definitely try. Yeah.
I'll try as Berg
Make
too.
an Okay, just whoever wants to can make an investigation check with advantage, because everybody's like kind of curious about these.
Crit.
Nice,
Nice.
Marib, that's great. Okay, so yeah, you see when you look, you see what at first appears to be embossed symbols of like warriors preparing for battle, and again in this very kind of Egyptian style, like linear, like laid out in lines on the wall. You see an array of vaguely human looking warriors. They have quite long heads, and they seem to be like, there's no people to compare them to, but they have this sort of like lankiness to them. They're wearing scale armor, and they have spears, but there's something about their proportions, like their heads are like strangely elongated, and so it seems like you see this army amassing, and you see that, and as you move down, you see that they seem to be assembling against some greater foe, but there's never any vision of that foe. You never see what it is they're gearing up to fight. But it appears, looking at the hieroglyphs, it appears looking at it's not even a story. It's kind of, it doesn't run together. There's no linearity. There's no like, and then they got ready for battle. Then they had a battle, and then they won the battle. You just see scenes here and there. And then it seems like these warriors either lost the battle or had to sacrifice something for the sake of winning, because you see a scene of these same figures, but they're lying in rest. Right? You see them with their arms folded over their chest, and eventually, as you progress through the tunnel, the images as they blur and shape, you see what looks like a mausoleum being sealed. You see two of these figures closing the doors of a great stone building, and then above them you see constellations. You can see stars. And Ramus, maybe it's your notice of this, because I think you would have studied these. These stars are familiar to you. They're primitively carved, but the stars appearing over this mausoleum are they're the stars of the world. They're constellations that you recognize. Yeah, that's what you see. You have questions? Because at 21, I mean, you got a crit here. So
Were there stars in the void? Were they
no,
apparent?
I mean, there's no night.
Oh, there's no night.
It was never.
That's right.
It's never dark enough for you to be able to tell.
I forgot about that. Any?
So if I was looking at this,
Yeah.
and I would I notice the differences between my like the void, the world I live in, and the world, like, would I think to point out like what are those things above?
Yeah, you might say, yeah, it might be weird to you to be like there's no sun in the sky, which is weird. There's no depiction of the sun, and there are all these little tiny like dots arrayed in a pattern above them. So that would be weird to you, like
Okay,
tiny
then
suns.
Then I'll ask it. What are these points on the pictures here? Are they underground? There's no depiction of the sun. Are they in a cave of some sort, or?
No, they're what we call stars. They form shapes in the sky of our world. You only see them when the sun, well, in our world, the sun goes down at night and it's dark. You can see them like little lights in the sky.
So when the sun is gone, these stars light up the sky.
Yes, and if you look closely, they kind of form shapes. Like this here
What-
is this represents the tower, and
Is their purpose just to tell stories through pictures? Is that what the stars do?
well, we don't really know exactly what the purpose of a star itself is, but the shapes they represent is people find religious value in them. That the gods put them there to remind us of things.
Adam, since we're nomadic
Yeah.
as a tribe, we'd use them for navigation, right? In some sense.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Ramus, the kind of the church answer to this, heaven's answer, like their reason for the stars is that they are manifestations of stories that the star arcana wants to tell humanity, to teach them lessons and to give them stories. They are the ways that the star communicates hope and rejuvenation to the world. But yeah, for you, Maharib, they might represent creatures, that might represent old heroes of your people, and yeah, they're definitely used for navigation.
Yeah. Okay. Then once Ramus finishes his point about stars, I'll just speak up. We use them for navigation sometimes, but every culture has their meaning for it. You'll get used to them. They're not as bright as the sun. Keep that in mind.
How do you use them for navigation?
They're always in the same place.
Oh, really? They do
So
not move.
since you got a 21, rather than wait to see if you're going to ask me this, I'm just going to volunteer it.
Okay.
You could find this place.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Like if you were to get outside and get a nice long look at the sky, you're pretty sure you could find this tomb.
Okay. Then yeah, I point to the stars and say, by this alone I could find wherever this is in our world.
Really? I should very much like to see these stars.
And why is it here in this realm? That shouldn't be.
I'm not sure. This creature might be older than we thought. Maybe others have used this as a passageway long before us.
Maybe this realm was a piece of knowledge lost long ago. We'll have to investigate it later if we make it through.
Absolutely.
Have you seen these? And I point to the long, elongated, like humanoid things. Have you seen these before? These people?
I would know them as giants, right, Adam?
Yeah. I don't know that you know too much about them, but they look like someone else's depiction. They certainly don't look like the way that your people necessarily depict them, but there are similarities enough that you could probably
Infer that. Okay. Yeah, I just they look closely related to my ancestors of sorts, but they're not exactly that. Does that make sense? Do you even know the term ancestors, the people before me?
I've heard it. It's not something that I'm exceedingly familiar with. But
Well, you'll have a lot to learn when we get to the other side, but we have to get there first.
yes, quite excited. Stars, ancestors. It's also foreign to me.
I start to kind of walk further down. How long have we been walking at this point?
It hasn't been too long. It's become obviously, like, your eyes have adjusted to this sort of ambient glow. The stairs essentially spiral down, as if you were like at an even keel, as if you were walking around the outside of like a tower or something. So the stairs continue down, and you figure maybe you've gone like 10 or 12 stories with these like shifting hieroglyphs on the walls.
Okay. Are they telling a different story at all, or do I need to make another roll for that? Like,
No, this is the story. This is the story that the walls tell Maharib.
okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So you reach what must be the end of the stairs, and it terminates at a door. The door itself is quite tall. It's maybe 10 feet tall, probably twice that wide. So it's a set of double doors. It's stone, and this stone is like either a black granite or some kind of unpolished obsidian. It doesn't give off the light that the rest of this place does, and in fact sort of absorbs it. Though there are on these doors, and the door is sealed. There's no handles. There's nothing you can see. You can just see a crack or a like a line where the doors might open, and etched into this the wall in front of you, you see this. So these numbers, these letters are, I think, maybe 2 feet tall a piece. They are arranged like this, and then the green lines are slots cut into the door that are about a hand span apart. Like, Maharib, if you put your hand up, you could cover one with your palm. And they're slots. They're cut into the door, and there's a faint light and a faint there's a mist kind of like coming out of them and drifting down the surface of the door. They're at eye level with you.
Okay. Do any of the you said this is out of like basalt or like a
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some kind of dark stone.
Any of the notches look more worn than the other?
No, they all appear to have been freshly cut.
Oh, so they're all pristine.
No tool marks, nothing like that.
Okay. Does this make any sense to any of you?
Give me those cards from earlier.
1 second.
We had 3 of them, right?
Yeah. There's I rummaged through my bag, hand them to Ramus.
I double check. What are the numbers on the cards again?
7 of cups, the 9 of wands, and the 5 of coins.
Yep.
Great.
I think we put them on the slots there.
All right. The 4 of you stand back.
Said it was a key. I'm
Sure. I'll be the one to do it. And I say in is it infernal? Is that what we all speak? Yeah.
I always get infernal and abyssal mixed up, but
It's
yes,
infernal.
it's whatever. I think it's infernal that you all speak.
It is, yeah. I say in infernal, so at least Broken Promises can understand it. Burke might be able to. I'm not sure. I just say like, stand back. I don't want you to get hurt.
Well,
That's to Amira.
hold on a second. Would I know? I mean, it's tough. Would I know that those are numbers? What they represent? Would I have matched the symbols from the cards?
Yeah, you may not know that they're numbers, but
Okay.
you're smart enough, I think, to recognize the symbols on the cards match up with the symbols on the wall. Yeah.
Well, and I take one of the, or actually, I asked Maharib, you mind if I see one of those cards?
Sure, by all means.
And I just hold it up next to the one it corresponds with. Say I had the 7 of cups.
Yeah.
I hold it up, and you see it matches. And it same goes for the other 2. What does this symbol, the 4th symbol, mean?
I'm not sure, but there's no card for it, so perhaps that's what'll show us.
16. What? I try to remember. Like, what does 16 have to do with the tarot? Is it a
So
card?
I mean,
You want to know? I looked it up.
Of everybody, both Berg, and maybe Ramus first, and then Berg on a slight delay. You've seen that collection of 3 sigils many times before. Etched onto your shield not so long ago, both Berg and Ramus, was that number. It is a sacred number, and its meaning is the tower. That's the one.
Boom, boom. Dibba-dibba.
It's the symbol
maybe-
of the tower.
I thought we might have been done with all of that.
It's
Why would it be here? That doesn't make any sense.
not. It's just a symbol. Why would you read into it? We take the cards and put it in the slot, and we're done.
The meaning behind it.
There's only meaning if you want there to be meaning, Berg.
Bird just like stares at you like,
I kind of like snatched the card back from Broken Promises, and said, "If you're not going to stand back, I'm going to put these cards in." I take the first card.
Very well.
And yeah, Amira looks at you like this is all some nonsense, but I'm gonna get out of the way because I don't want to have whatever bad thing this door is gonna do. And so it just steps back and just kind of side eyes you, Mahari, like, oh, okay, you're crazy.
Yeah. So I put the 7 of Cups under the 7 in the slot.
Yeah, so you're gonna just like slide it into the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Nothing
Yep.
happens. or-
So when you put the card in after the first one, and the glow fades, the mist sort of stops coming from the slot, and the card vanishes inside. There's no other effect after the first card.
I turn around. See, there's nothing. I like, while not looking at it, I'll slide the 9 of Wands into
cool
the
guy
center.
over here.
Yeah, 9 of Wands into the
Whatever.
center.
Just it's
I
a
feel-
card wall.
I feel
You guys
really
never seen a
important.
card wall before?
I feel really important.
How do you do that? I have to flatten it out on the side. I have
Yeah.
to like peel back the corner.
You put
make
the
sure
card
it
in,
goes
and you hear a beep, and then the card comes back out. If you
God
want
damn it, give
salvation,
me
you
another
gotta bang
card.
on the
Give a crit
machine.
There's like a random technician.
Berg,
of the
lift the
tower
door
comes
up
by.
a little bit, Berg.
Yeah.
There's a
Perfect.
custodian
Amira
that
jams
comes
her
by
arm
from
in
the
there.
tower. He's like, hold on a second. You gotta just, he like opens up a panel. All right, try it now.
It's okay. There's a 1-800 number on the side of the dungeon. You can just call them. So Maharib, in the same way, you place the second card into the slot, and it vanishes.
Okay.
Only the last slot remains.
Feeling really
Wait,
confident.
wait.
I'm halfway there. What, Ramus?
What was he rambling about earlier before we? What was his goal?
Who's?
A bug fucker. What was his ultimate goal again?
Something about dying with a purpose. I don't know. It was all rambling.
Well,
I-
you wanted to bring the
Just the
giant
tower's
world.
destruction. And this door is
Yes.
marked as destruction, and we're about to open it. I'm just getting a bad feeling is all.
Do you wish to see if there's another door here, Ramus? We can climb back up if you'd like.
It's just too convenient is all. Sorry. I just had a bad feeling.
Well, that's why you're standing back over there.
All right. Go ahead.
I mean, what else are we to do?
Exactly.
I guess it just go ahead. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. And this time, maybe not so confident.
Not so cavalier this
Yeah,
time.
I kind of like slowly start to put the card in, and like every little bit more that it goes, not like I'm not slowly doing it, but every little bit more it goes, I'm more conscious and cautious about the door like I don't know, just fucking eating me or something. I'm trying to be aware of the door and it's like changing shapes. Yeah.
Yeah, you're ready for danger.
Right.
Okay. All right. So you place the third card into the slot. The slot
Yeah.
ceases
Five
to
of
glow,
coins.
and once the 5 of coins is placed into the slot, all of the slots word silently just seal up, and they don't close. It's just like the door heals them. You see the numbers that were etched over them slowly fade, as if receding into the surface of the wall, and the number in the center of the wall glows brightly for a moment with a white light. And then from it, as if watching a drop of ink in a glass of water, you see lines begin to form. First, waves, wavy lines at the bottom near your feet. Then clouds start to sort of form around and above it. There is a peal of thunder and a bright flash. You can hear it as if standing outside in the midst of a storm. You hear this rumbling of thunder, a bright flash, and when your eyes adjust, you see glowing from beyond the surface of the door. You see the outline of a great tower burning. At its top, a flame. You can see a lightning bolt striking it from one of the clouds. And as you watch, an eye opens above the tower's peak, and lines radiate out from the eye. And as this is happening, it gets brighter and brighter. Like Amira averts her eyes, even through the lenses of her mask. She averts her eyes and puts her hand up, and the light gets bright enough that you can't look directly at it. Everything is made too bright to see until it just becomes like painful. Like even with your eyes shut and your hand over your eyes, you can still feel it kind of like penetrating your skull. You can hear this like high-pitched whine, and then it starts to fade. And as your vision returns, you find yourself in another place. You're no longer at the bottom of a set of stairs. The stairs back are no longer available to you, and instead, you are standing in a room. It is 5-sided. You're standing in a pentagon-shaped room. Ramus, Berg, and Maharib, there's something vaguely familiar about this room to you. Broken Promises, you've never seen anything like it. It has a flat walls, floor, and ceiling. None of it has any kind of illustration or carving to it. But there is in the center a fire burning. It's in a stone bowl, and Broken Promises, it is burning in a color you have never seen. And from where you are standing, you feel heat radiating off of it. It is a strange and unnatural fire. And this is burning in the center of the room. There appears to be around the lip of the bowl some kind of like writing.
Okay. Well,
I instinctually like reach my hand out to the bowl to feel the heat like coming off of it.
Yeah. You can feel it even through your gloves.
What the hell just happened?
are we all safe? Broken Promises, you're still Broken Promises, correct?
I'm fine.
Turn to Amira and say, Amira, are you feeling okay?
So you can only kind of see her through. You see her eyes through the somewhat fogged like lenses of her mask, and she gives you a look that indicates to you maybe she's not sure yet.
Okay. I look over at like Ramus and Berg. Ramus, what the fuck just happened?
I don't know, but something involving the tower. I don't know what this is.
Well,
I try to rack my.
Can you make a religion check, Dan? Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like I'm trying to rack my brain if I've heard anything like this.
He's gonna ask. Oh, wait.
18.
Okay. Yeah, Ramus, you've seen architecture like this before. Something when you first saw it, something about this place was incongruous to you, and it just now occurs to you what it was. The room is an almost identical replication of the room you fought Yotazo's dad in. It doesn't have the chains, it doesn't have the acolytes or whatever, but it's like, and a pentagon is a way inauspicious. You never build a room with 5 sides. Like, that's crazy. That's inviting bad luck. But it's built like that. It's that exact room. And then the fire is it is a like a sacrificial like a pit, basically. It's a sacred fire that you would build using like wood. You would light it with prayer strips, and it would be consecrated, and then people would come to the temple of the tower, and they would throw in symbols of the things they wanted to be rid of. But it doesn't belong in a room like this. Putting a sacred bowl into such a blasphemous room it offends some part of your divine design sense very deeply.
This isn't right. This is the room. The numbers are wrong of the sides, and you don't put this in a room like, I don't know. It's all wrong.
You said
It's real fire, Remus. I can feel the heat.
you said there were markings on the ground, Adam.
So the rim, the edge of the bowl. So the bowl is everything in here is gray stone. The bowl is like ivory colored, and it has a gold rim around the outside, and there's something etched into it, like letters or numbers or something.
Okay. While they're talking, I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, you want to walk over to it?
Yeah.
Oh, I would
Right,
definitely
yeah.
do the same. I'd be drawn to the flames.
Yeah, the heat is immense for the size of the fire. Like, it's a bonfire, so it's, you know, maybe two meters across, like 6 or 7 feet across this bowl. The fire is easily at its peak. The flames are taller than Maharib is. And as you approach it, it appears that the bowl is made out of some kind of yellowish sandstone. And in the gold rim of the bowl, there are characters that look to you, Broken Promises, like some kind of fucked up, weird version of the Abyssal language. Like, you recognize some of the characters. You're like, wait a second, that's a 4, and that's the letter Clorb. And, like, you recognize, like, bits and pieces, but you don't, like, you can't make words out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking, I gotta look. Maharib, you come over. Yeah, you don't, same thing. You're like, you kind of recognize it, but.
Okay. Well, then I'm probably distracted because Broken Promise is like trying to touch the fire.
Yeah, Broken Promises just walk straight towards it.
Yeah. Maybe I'd like.
Well, I mean, if it's a bonfire, it's far too hot for me to get that close to it. Like, I'm just kind of
you can feel like
looking around and basking in the heat and not quite understanding. Like, the only way that fire produces heat in my world is from magic. Like,
so
this
make an
is
Arcana
just like,
check.
and it's
make an Arcana
also
check. Broken Promises.
Okay.
There may be some more information you can glean from that.
Oh God, come on. 7.
Okay. Yeah, I think what you know is what you know. That's about it. So yes, juice is the only way to make, like, this is a special kind of fire, but it's the wrong color. Juice flame
Juicy
is green.
fire.
Right. Is this
Remus.
magical?
No, it's not. It's normal.
This is normal for us.
Broken Promises, you feel a big, like, drop of sweat slide down your back standing this close to the fire.
Remus,
Incredible.
are we back?
No. This isn't. I don't think we are home. Doesn't feel like home.
What do you mean? The fire's right there, Ramus. It feels anything.
It's a fire, but I don't think we're there, and I don't think we were where we were.
Rick's looking around the room to, like, see if there's, like, points of exit, examining.
So-
Might be like in between.
So yeah, Berg, while everyone's talking and like looking at this thing, none of them understand what's written on the edge of this bowl. And it might take you a minute to like sound out the syllables. You're the only one that can read it in the group.
Not so dumb now, huh? Yeah. Okay. So Berg starts to examine, the bowl and like sound it out.
Okay.
Just, like,
So
mumbling to himself.
it's can you make a religion check, Berg?
I got all sorts of religiosity for you. I got this.
All right.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
right.
13. It's a poem. It's a specific kind of poem written in Celestial to communicate the intentions of the pious to heaven. It's a prayer, basically a prayer poem. And the poem basically it implores heaven to grant a blessing to those who in this place found a new city, a city of learning, a city of magic, a city of brass.
Damn it.
So that occurs to you as you read it.
Okay. That was a lot of words for that there Berg to say. So
Yeah.
he communicates that specifically to Ramus, and the others can hear it too. And then he just finishes. He's at the end of it like,
And it says, Ramos, the city of brass.
What?
But it's gone though.
I heard that was destroyed. Oh,
Yeah, someone destroyed it. I don't.
Some assholes destroyed it. It used to be cool, and then
do you actually say that? Because I kind of pick up on a little bullshit there.
those dicks, whoever destroyed that. Such a great city it was too.
I just say like, yeah, it was destroyed.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe just a relic from the city that someone took. Surely.
We can't be here.
I'm sorry, but what is the significance of the city of brass?
It was destroyed, according to what I've been told. We could not exist.
Well, I got that
there.
much. What was it before?
Imagine a giant nexus, massive, farther than the eye could see in all directions.
I spent time
Okay.
there, but not enough. It was too much.
the place they're describing to you, Broken Promises, sounds a bit like the Capitol. Have you ever been there before? Like on personal, like, do you have any memories of the Capitol that didn't belong to like your intelligence portfolio? Like any memory you would have retained?
I want to say yes, in that before I became a spy, something, some event or some like pilgrimage was had there with my friends, family, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went there because it's one of those things. Like you live in the United States, you got to see New York City at least once, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we went there
it's-
just to
I
see
mean,
what the capital was like.
For the inhabitants of the Court of the Void, the capital is literally the center of the universe. Like compasses point towards it. It's basically like gravity pulls all people to it eventually. So yeah, you visited, and it's like what Ramus says. It's a massive place of cities upon cities. It stretches as far as the eye can see, full of strange people and odd creatures. You can find and do anything there, and it's very so it sounds like that's what he's describing.
Okay. The only thing I have to compare it to is the capital city. And the capital city is, well, no matter how big you think it is, it's bigger than that. Is that a fair comparison?
That's exactly what the city of Brass was.
And it was destroyed.
Yes.
Wow. Something enormous or a force. I shudder to think at what could destroy something that big.
Yeah.
Are we there? Are we on the other side?
That's perhaps the.
By the
maybe.
way, this is all me saying like through this mask. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
are we on the other side? Should I take off my mask?
No, I would leave it on. We're not sure. Ramus believes us
Maybe.
to not be, but
Be good for now. Better that way.
Yeah. There's just nothing left of the city. We couldn't be there because there's nothing left of it. It's like this fire, just burned and gone.
Yes.
When Berg looked around, did you say there was any like exits, doorways, tunnels, anything?
No. No.
There's nothing.
Nothing.
So I look up. Is the because if it's regular fires, there's smoke coming off of it, right?
Yep.
So is the smoke going anywhere?
You look up and you see in the smoke seems to rise up to the ceiling and then hit the ceiling and kind of create a thin layer, almost like clouds of smoke hanging. It doesn't dissipate, it just sort of hangs thickly, so you can't actually see the ceiling. There's smoke covering it, a layer of
Okay.
it. Can you make a wisdom save for me?
Me?
Yeah, please.
Okay. 20.
Okay. Somewhere in the back of your brain, you feel a twinge of melancholy or loss, but it passes as quickly as you feel it.
It passes, does it? When I had to feel melancholy and shitty the entire time in the void? That's great. That's cool.
It's just a brief moment of it's not just like you're not like sad. There's just like it's a complex feeling of loss that just passes for a moment.
Okay.
when Ramus is saying, I'm not sure what triggered it, so I think I just whatever anyone else is doing. Ramus, you knowledgeable about the tower. We saw before we were here from that door that was illuminated. It seemed to be depicting the creation of something. Did it not? Can the tower create? Does it ever create, or does it only destroy?
It destroys so that creation may rise again. That
Yeah.
something has gone on too long, has gotten too big. It needs to be destroyed to let, like a forest fire. You burn the forest so that it may grow anew.
Was that ever? Did you ever see studies or stories about a door that did such a thing as we just encountered?
Not like this. This is all wrong. It's like someone's trying to create something and then they're getting it wrong.
Do you have any way to pinpoint where we are, Ramus? It is in relation to depth or anything like that?
I love the idea, and I this is just based on what you, JP, what you just did, but I imagine Maharib instinctively looks up because you feel lost.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like your grandma and your grandma's grandma, like you this is just like if you're ever lost, honey, like if you ever get separated from the tribe, just look up. And so that idea that Maharib is like, how do we figure out where we are?
Well, no, that's
I love that. That's such a
that's 100% what's happening.
such a good moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good moment. Thank you.
I don't have any way to determine our location without points of reference.
Well,
I would have to have seen some.
someone obviously
I don't know
built
if you work
this.
here.
There must be a way in. Things don't just exist without being built. Especially
Well-
something like this.
these pits for the tower where you sacrifice something that you need to let go of. Perhaps that's what it wants.
Are you saying this is some between place between the void and where we're from? The only way to get through is by sacrificing something in that fire? Does that make sense?
That's at least what it looks like on the surface. That this is some sort of sacrifice pit. Supposed to give something.
If that were to be true, then that fire would indeed be magical and not naturally occurring, correct?
Depends.
Yeah, I mean,
Some-
it's a pretty safe bet that the fire is magical, given the intensity of the heat, the fact that the smoke doesn't fill the room completely,
Right.
and at a glance, you don't see anything fueling it. It just seems to be emitting from the bottom of the bowl. Now, Ramus, you've seen like essentially gas powered fires like this before, but this is not one of those. It's just the bowl. And at a glance, like when you're looking at the bowl, Ramus, this bowl is old as hell, like thousands of years old. And can you make a quick history check?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nope.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So
Natural one.
yeah, all you know about it is that it is like primordially old.
is there anything that I can check, or is this not even in my purview?
No,
Not
you
even
have
my
no,
wheelhouse.
you have no access to the history that
Okay.
it would require to recognize it.
Well,
What does
you
someone
appear
have?
to be stuck here.
We're not
It's around.
stuck. Ramus had an idea. We give up something. We burn something that we wish to leave behind. Does anyone have something they wish to leave behind?
I was going to say we're safe for a little while. Good rest. Long time since I've rested by a fire with heat.
If that's what you wish to do, we could maybe study this room a bit more, I suppose.
I don't know how safe this room is. It's obviously a magical room. We don't know what will happen the longer we stay here.
Wait. Oh, God. I'm going to ask a question. Dan, don't infer anything from it, okay? Here's the question I'm asking Dan, the player, not Ramus, the character. Did you, as Ramus, ever stumble or hesitate or share that there was a sense of your spells not casting with the party when we were in the void?
Yeah, I think I'd have mentioned that like when I went to cast something and it didn't work, I would explain like I would explain like what has been happening to you, like I tried to do something to you and explain it that like
It didn't
it
work.
wasn't working. Yeah, I
Okay.
felt like I was missing like the connection to the fountain.
Okay. And that was different than any time you've ever tried to cast that when we were in our world, correct?
Yeah, in our world that
Okay.
never happened.
Then I feel confident doing this in character. Yeah. Ramus, try using a spell. See if it works. You had trouble when we were in the void.
Okay, I cast guidance on Maharib.
Okay. You don't have to roll. There's no. It comes to you more easily than it has in a long time.
Whoa.
So we're not in the void, correct?
We are. I would assume that we are somewhere very close to the fountain's power. I don't know if we're in our world, but I don't feel that hit or miss with my spells. It just happened.
I was going to ask too, in general, like Adam, is it consistent then that Berg would be feeling a lot less glum and like faint of divine power, or is that not really?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things like, when you're really sick, like you have a cold or like a really bad headache or something, and it's like all you can think about until all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, it's gone. I feel better. That's definitely how that feels. Where you're just like, wait a minute, I don't feel like total ass now.
Yeah. You might notice that with Berg. He's a little less like just glum faced and like hating everything more so than usual. He's just a little more like attentive to what people are saying,
Right.
a little more present.
Okay. All right. I stand by what I said earlier, that these places are created. So someone made this, whether it was by mortal or God or whatever, which means that there's something on the
Yeah.
outside, or if we're really between where we're from and the void, this wall can be destroyed. I don't know what's on the other side. It might not be the best idea, but this around us can be destroyed.
When you speak of the fountain, that's where you get your power, isn't it, Ramus?
It's going to be hard to explain to you, but yes. But imagine you have the void, an all-consuming darkness of a pit where everything sinks into it. Imagine the complete opposite made of light, where it spreads into everything. Instead of everything sinking into it, it spreads into everything.
It's hard to imagine.
But yeah,
So this fountain bleeds into everything. Then
the fountain is everything, and it's in all of us.
is it in me?
Depends on how many midichlorians you have.
Do I have to lift some
don't
rocks
know.
with my mind, or perhaps stand on my head?
Carry Ramus around in a backpack.
Yeah.
By the religion, you would have to. You're alive. You're living. But there's no mention of the void. There's like a gap in the religion's knowledge there.
The fountain is new to me as well. The fountain's reach does not extend to the void, it seems.
It's broken promises. It's important to remember that where we're from, there's many reasonings for why we exist. Ramus's knowledge of the fountain is one of them. My people have a much different understanding, which doesn't necessarily concern you, but means there's no right answer. There's answers that lead to other questions, and those are eternal.
Many lies.
There has to be one right answer,
If it was that easy,
isn't there?
then someone would have found it already.
I mean, I was in heaven once.
Sure. It exists. It's a place.
That much we know, yes.
But how do we not... We're not having this fucking discussion right now, by the way. We're done.
Oh,
You've
we
entered
don't
the
have a lot of
theology
choice.
chamber.
We're in a room with no exits.
Right. If we...
Where
Well,
do you think you come
I
from?
have
Let's
some
talk about
experience.
it.
I have some experience with, well, giving things up and being reborn.
Wait 1 minute. How... That door you created, you can move through walls, can you not?
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes, but I need to see where I'm going. Or have an idea, a picture in my mind of where I'm going to end up. Outside of these walls, I don't know what is there. I could end up inside of another wall, and then I'd be gone forever.
It's too much of a gamble for only one of us to do that.
I could start hitting the wall.
Was my worry, Berg.
He likes doing that, by the way.
My worry is that
I
we
do.
would destroy whatever this place is, and it would collapse on itself if we're somewhere in between. Does that make sense?
I thought about that too. But I don't like doing nothing. We're going to do nothing. We ought to rest.
Sure. Yes.
Adam, I would like to try to remember, like, if I know anything about, if there's any stories about how the city of Brass came to be, like its origins, if there's any myths or rumors about it?
Yeah. You can make a history check.
25.
25.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So the founding of the courts themselves is obviously shrouded in the kind of mystery that 10,000 years of history will last. But it was basically founded by a group of like powerful. I think you remember a story both from like history, but also there was the thing we were calling Nameless. Like told you a bit about this, right? That it was founded by the Immortals. That they came to this place in the desert on like a holy pilgrimage, and they sacrificed their brother to create this place, and that's how you got Hazan and that whole thing. So there's that story. The more typical story is that like a group of sages traveled the desert in search of enlightenment, and they found a place where the stars shone upon them. And they felt the presence of heaven, and there they set up their camp and began to pray. And they prayed for 40 days and 40 nights, and they had a revelation that this would be the place to build their city, and that it would be a city of learning, it would be a city of magic, and that it would be a city that they would build of brass. And it was a riddle that they sort of had to uncover. And there's a whole mythology around the city itself, and its first inhabitants and who was drawn to it. But it's always been a place that was empowered by sacrifice. It was a place that was built on the principles of heaven, but a place where people of learning could come and could share knowledge from all of the other courts.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I can't help but be reminded of the origins of the city of Brass. There were 5 people wanting to make this place, but one had to be sacrificed. And there were 5 of us.
So when you finish that sentence, this is the moment where the Court of Swords, as directed by Quentin Tarantino, moment happens where everybody just kind of looks at each other real slow.
We're not sacrificing anyone. There's
I was just saying that
Sure,
was
yes.
an analogy.
Origin
but-
stories are created to shape a culture's reasoning. It's not what actually happened, potentially.
I'll do it
What? You're not going to kill yourself,
If-
Berg.
if there is no way out of here, and we have tried everything else. I'll do it.
What about me? Will I not come back?
Presumably not, no. If you die in our world,
So,
you're dead.
Ramus, you know that like none of the arcana really perform human sacrifice. It's an old thing that kind of got weaned out of that because humans who are sacrificed, their destiny is cut off, and they can't fulfill heaven's like role for them. It used to be a thing that people did a lot more. The purpose of a human sacrifice in this case is to show to heaven that you want to start over, that you recognize your sins, and that you are ready to accept your punishment for them. Right? That you're like, I've lived a bad life. This is why usually it was like a voluntary thing offered to like criminals, where you could, instead of living out your life in jail, you could say, I found religion, right? I want to apologize to heaven, and I'm gonna die. Usually not in the best way, like being burned alive was the normal way you would sacrifice a person. And the reason that it mattered was because it would give you the chance to send your soul back to heaven for judgment. It was a way to bravely face judgment from heaven, which means Broken promises is not eligible. Broken promises is an empty vessel. If somebody's gonna get sacrificed, it needs to be a person with a soul.
I appreciate that broken promises, but for all those reasons I just mentioned, it wouldn't work.
It doesn't matter. We're not seriously considering killing one of ourselves. So the
not?
rest, it would be the very thing that you two have rallied against. You're once again succumbing to what heaven wants.
I've been
Well-
to heaven. I've died before. I'm not afraid of it happening again.
It's not about being afraid, Berg. It's about
No, it's not. It's about your death meaning something. Rather make it mean something than nothing. Die in a dark cave somewhere. That's no way I want to go. If it needs to be done, I will do it.
we'll cross that road when we get to it. Let's.
Sure, I don't necessarily want to die either. Specifically with flames and such.
Well, let's start with the easy stuff. Berg, hit the fucking wall. See what happens.
Berg, go do the Berg. Hit it with your hammer.
Use the hammer, not your hands.
Well, duh.
As he
I'm-
says that, Berg turns around and goes, and then just smashes one of the walls.
Slam a random wall.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mario
all right.
starts to
So
explain
you-
himself, but he stops when Berg hits the wall.
you strike the wall, and when you do, there is the sound of the hammer hitting stone, right? You hear that, but lower and far away, there is the rumble of thunder. Little lines like the kind of burns that people get when they're struck with lightning. Those kind of like vein looking like burn marks. When you strike the wall, those flash out along the dark stone. And for a moment, the stone is almost transparent. And beyond it, you can see what looks like a desert, but in monochrome. The sky is gray. The sand is dark. You can't see any other features, but you see this scene as if you were in a box sitting in the desert. And striking the wall gave you the ability to kind of see through the wall for a moment.
Everyone sees that, or just Berg?
And then everybody sees it.
Wait, was that the desert that we just saw?
That was the desert I mentioned that they found the city in. I think we're there, but I don't think the city of Brass must be built upon a vein.
But wait, did we see the top of the desert, Adam? As if we were floating? Do we have any
Yes,
idea?
yeah, you're not buried under the sand. Yeah.
But are we looking down? Or are we like
No,
ground
it's
level?
like it's like this box that you're in, this little stone room is sitting in the desert.
Okay, gotcha. But perhaps this room can't be destroyed or something, and this is where the city was, which is why it doesn't exist. I don't know. Someone
Berg.
do you have any normal weapons to strike the wall with?
Hold on. Berg, would you strike the wall one more time for me, please? Just out of curiosity.
Sure.
And hits it.
Yeah. Give it another swing, sure.
Does the same thing happen? It becomes translucent.
Same effect, yeah. The rumble and then the wall flickers for a moment as lightning kind of courses through it.
May work. My cloak.
Mahari, try yours.
What's the next? If you get out the broken promises, I don't know if you'll be able to get back in, but it is a good idea.
There might be something on the outside.
Unless this place only exists when you're inside it. I don't know. Here, I'll try. I get my weapon, get a two-handed strike at the same place where Berg was striking.
Okay. So you take another swing at it, and I don't think there's the same effect this time. I think the axe clatters off the wall. There's gonna be some sparks, but there's no lightning. There's no sight through it.
Ramus,
What is different about Berg's weapon that is not the same as yours, Marib?
his serves heaven. Mine serves something else. This is probably created by heaven, thus the weapon responds to it. But it can't destroy
Perhaps
it.
we need heaven's help getting out of here then. Ramus, you said the difficulties you were having before are now gone. Can you communicate with your heaven and ask for assistance? Or can you do the same, perhaps?
This should be good. I like sit back and cross my hands. Heaven actually responding. Let's see if this works.
I could try, but heaven is full of mysteries and rarely has this ever provided any answers, just more questions.
Well,
I raise my eyes towards broken promises, or my eyebrows when he says that.
I've heard in heaven, love comes first. They say sometimes heaven's a place on earth.
Waiting for that.
What is this earth you speak of?
Should we use
I
this?
prepare a place on the floor and start setting up the ritual to
Okay.
commune with heaven.
As you're setting up, wait, Ramus, should we not use this as the thing before Berg decides to kill himself? Before we try to use the cloak that Broken Promises possesses?
I will talk to heaven and see if we get any answers. We might not. I don't know.
It just seems dire. By all means.
I am just talking. We're not sacrificing right now.
Great.
Talking to the
You
town.
don't want him to talk. That's too much.
Just go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So you take the 10 minutes. You prepare your materials, and then you cast commune.
Yeah, commune.
Okay. All right. So the way, and we talked about spells like this ages and ages ago, where like you write your question down on a prayer strip and you burn it, and then that's how it gets to heaven, right? The smoke rises up to heaven, and then they hear your prayer and they basically send you a reply. Sometimes it comes in the form of an intuition. Sometimes it comes in the form of like a specific, like a voice. It varies depending on who you're asking and what you're asking and whatever. So you cast your spell to contact your deity or a divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions. What do you want to ask?
Are we still in the void? The first question.
So how with commune for you, how do you usually receive replies? Or like in this instance, what do you think would be the case of like how would you get it? Would it be
If there's fire, sometimes the flames will flicker and form shapes that priests have learned to read as answers of yes or no. Which I'm looking into the flame in the center.
Yeah, so Ramus is staring. Are you? So I mean, the big obvious flame is the one in the center of the room. Are you using that one?
Yeah, that one in the center.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Ramus is staring into this fire, and yeah, you see the answer as you expected. Right, characters begin to form in the fire, and you asked, "Are we still in the void?"
Yeah.
The answer returns from heaven that you and your friends are in a place that we can feel but cannot see.
Heaven doesn't know where we are exactly.
Of course not. Or they're not telling you.
Second question.
As
Do
he
we
was
have to
doing this,
Mm.
sorry, just like a little flavor, like as he was doing this, like you see Broken Promises like taking out her little like belt dagger and like putting it in the fire and watching it like heat up and like looking at it and then like putting her hand over it to see like the warmth coming off. It's just like she's
What are you
playing with it because
what are
it's
you-
the
what are-
first fucking
What are you putting in the fire?
just like a tip of her dagger.
Okay. So when Broken Promises does that and holds when you hold the dagger to the fire, can you make a dexterity save?
Oh man, what are you doing? It was just flavor, Adam. It was just flavor.
Dagger's about to go
Okay.
bye-bye.
Sometimes even
19
flavor has a
Sometimes
price.
Hey,
Flavor is
19.
very spicy and potent.
It starts to like heat up, and you can feel it in your hand starting to like the whole thing starts to get warm, and you're able to pull the dagger away before it's consumed by the fire.
And I like wide-eyed just look around like,
I don't
why didn't you tell me fire did this in this world?
Yeah,
don't-
right. Fire's nasty.
necessarily notice it. I'm focused on Ramus right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe I see you
Second
pull around
question.
and I'm just like, oh yeah, of course it's hot, you idiot. Like,
Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Don't put your hand in there.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Second question.
Yep.
Is this room or illusion of your creation?
It's a hard question to answer. Metaphysics is complicated. You are in a place of heaven's remembering, but not our construction.
Fucking heaven. God damn these.
Oh.
how do you relay that one to us?
Yeah. Heaven remembers. Heaven remembers the place you are in, but did not make it.
This place is older than heaven itself.
So then I
So
have
something came before heaven.
yes, those are my ancestors.
And who are those?
I'd say we don't have enough time, but I think that's all we have. It goes back further and further. Some people call them primordials. There's giants. There were smaller gods, I guess you could say, that did smaller duties, oversaw smaller things. Some oversaw a lake. Others oversaw a forest. Some oversaw a town. Things like that. They had different and varying powers, different sizes. They were there before heaven.
Maybe we're asking the wrong people then.
There's no
Maybe
way
it's you who should be asking, Mahari.
we cannot communicate the way that Ramus does with his so freely. At least,
I have
to my knowledge, I'm
one-
not a shaman.
One final question. Can we leave this room without sacrificing one of us?
Heaven comes back with,
The rules of this place are not known to heaven.
shit.
Heaven doesn't know.
Imagine that.
Well, if heaven didn't build this place, then they might not know it's how to get in or out if it's older than heaven.
Can you communicate more than once a day, Ramus? How often can this happen?
That is a practice that is very frowned upon because the connection can get a little distorted, and you sometimes get false answers and false prophecies, and it caused a whole lot of problems. So it's a practice that's banned. You're not supposed to do it more than once a day.
I just wonder what's on the outside of this. When Berg strikes his hammer, it's
Oh.
without color. I don't know if it
Heaven
exists
doesn't
yet.
know. this isn't
Right.
heaven's creation, so be like calling a blacksmith about a leatherworking issue or
Right.
something.
But they might know if it exists. No, if it exists somewhere on whatever our plane is called. But
This might be a primordial making, something before heaven.
right.
You guys hear near the wall. Berg's like whispering to his hammer, and it lights up, and he goes.
Yeah. So you want to ignite the hammer. So when you do, you see this shine, this beacon of light, as always, this bright light, and anywhere that the light touches, the wall is like semi-transparent. You don't even have to hit it. Like just holding the light up to it, you can see partway through it. It's like aerogel. Like it's transparent, but there's a fogginess to the wall's texture under the light of the hammer.
But what does that do when you, whatever you just? Also, let us know before you strike the wall, Berg. Jeez. What does that do when you speak to your hammer?
It allows our hammer burn with heaven's holy light, its power, essence. Hurts people more.
Let me ask you this. Does it itself create the light, or does it bring in the light of heaven from other sources? Do you know?
I don't know if Berg knows. I guess you're just asking the source of the light, because I don't know if it comes from Berg or if it comes from the hammer, or if it acts as a beacon.
Yeah, I don't think you know either.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to check.
I don't really know. Just sort of happens.
The reason I ask is perhaps, stay with me on this, it's that the hammer is not creating the light for us to see outside. It's the light of heaven coming through the wall into the hammer, which allows us to see through it. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
Is there any place, Adam, in this room where we cannot see through? As Berg is probably moving his hammer around? Or is it all transparent?
No.
matter where
If
the
you
light hits?
if you walk around, the hammer appears to the hammer's light appears to permeate the walls of this place anywhere that you go.
What does it do to the fire?
Nothing, but it's glowing with the exact same like color and like it's clear that the fire in the bowl is divine in the same way the light from the hammer is.
You saying it won't burn my weapon?
The only way to find out.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Hey,
No
Max,
burning
it's
my
it's
weapon. Only me.
Max, it's like a tiny version of the fountain. What are you gonna do?
The fountain, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. I don't know what.
Just out of curiosity, can you feel the wall when it's transparent? Have you tried touching it?
Me or Berg?
Either of you, just could you still feel the wall when it's transparent?
Yeah, I like put my hand out.
Yeah, Berg does the same. Like brings the hammer over, so it's like particularly transparent, and sees if he can.
No. I mean, yes, you can touch it. You can put your hand on it, but if you push with like a little effort, your hand starts to go through it. Like you can feel, kind of like if you hit it hard, you bounce back. But if you push slowly, you can feel your hand sinking into the wall.
The slow blade penetrates the shield.
Yeah, right, exactly. Or it's like cornstarch in water, right? Like you can kind of push through it.
Okay. Yeah, I think me and Berg maybe discovered that at the same time. Like, Berg, is your hand moving through the stone?
Yep.
Do not turn that light off with our hands still submerged in this. Do you understand me?
I thought I would. I thought that would be fun.
I'm not wanting to lose a hand, Berg. You can see the seriousness of this.
I lost an arm once. It's fine.
Yes, we all know of your great loss, Berg. Continue like push forward.
Oh, so tortured, such a loss.
Yeah, I continue to push forward. Push my hand
Okay,
through
yeah,
the
yeah.
wall.
Okay, I mean the wall is thick enough that even with your arm extended all the way out, you can't reach the other side of it. But you get to that point, and then you can step into it if you want.
Are we doing this, Berg, or do you want your rest?
I'm happy to try anything. I don't want to burn myself, Maharib, so if this works, great.
Well, you should stay here, because if you leave, they lose this light source. Or whatever your hammer is doing.
Right. Up to you. You want to try?
Ramus, if I don't know.
I'll leave the light on.
If I'm transported to somewhere or broken promises, do you have a way to communicate with me?
As long as I can see you,
Yes.
yes.
All right. Well, Berg was going to sacrifice himself. I guess it's only fair. I start to like push my body into the wall.
I press guidance on you. Take a prayer with you, just in case you need it.
If I need heaven's help, then we're fucked.
I don't want help from those nerds. So
They
yeah,
always
you feel
protest.
that. Yeah, you feel that sort of nervous energy that frisson that the guidance gives when Ramus casts it, and you, Maharib, you start to push yourself into the wall. And I think that probably that's the shot before we go to break, right? Is
Yeah.
Maharib's body disappearing into the strange kind of transparent wall.
Cool. All right. We'll take a break.
It all, dude, it all kind of reminds me of that story that was told in the Killing Joke or whatever. Is like the flashlight, like you're just gonna turn it off halfway over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good comment. All right. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with more Court of Swords for part 2 of week 121 right after this. We'll see you guys then.